Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. I've had a super busy day. So I didn't have a chance to go on any kind of adventure or go metal detecting today. So if you're looking for that kind of vlog, tune in a day or two and I'll be back. I've got a big adventure planned and I'm really looking forward to it. So tune in then. But if you want to stick around, today I wanted to share a little bit of history with you guys that I discovered a couple days ago. And well, I discovered the gravity of a couple days ago. And it's also a little bit of history that I think there may be no other record of except the record that I'm going to try and make today. So if you guys are interested in that, I want to tell you about a couple buttons from the button mine that I recently did some more research on. And while I was up there digging at the button mine, there was a moment where I found a button that really piqued my interest.
Does it say band on it?
Hold on. I'm getting the light. Ouch. It says... yeah, I can't really...
Say Kilty?
It's a band button.
Yeah, thought it was band button.
It says something band.
I think it's the Kilties Band.
So, as you can see, my buddy Bob pretty much knew what these buttons were immediately. And he was right. The button said the Kilties Band, Belleville. And there's a big maple leaf in the middle of the button. And I ended up finding two of those buttons, a larger one and a cuff button. And these buttons were made by the Furman Company in London, England. And it's a button manufacturing company that also actually made some Confederate buttons during the Civil War. But these buttons were much later than that. These were made in the early 1900s for the Belleville Kilties. And when I got home, I started doing some research on this band. Being a musician, the fact that these were band buttons really interested me. And there is some documentation on the Belleville Kilties online. They were formed in 1902 by members of the 48th Highlanders Band out of Ontario. And basically what happened was the 48th Highlanders had booked a bunch of gigs that they weren't going to be able to make it to. So some of the members of the 48th Highlanders formed a separate band called the Kilties Band. And they went and fulfilled these commitments. Well, it turned out that the Kilties Band became more popular than the 48th Highlanders. And so they started to work on that band more closely. And the band became larger and larger. And this was a marching type band that played traditional music from Scotland and Ireland and England and popular tunes of the time. And they wore very fancy uniforms with kilts and vests and big hats and plumage and buttons everywhere. And they began to tour the world. They toured over 20 countries between 1908 and 1910. They were on tour for 2 years. In 1904, they played the World Exposition in St. Louis. And then in 1915, they played the Panama-San Diego Exposition. So they were all over the world. Played for the Queen of England and in India. And they became Canada's most popular touring band from the early part of the 1900s. They toured from about 1904 up until about 1933 when the band finally disbanded. But as I said, you can get online, and there is a small amount of information you can find about the Kilties Band, although I've not been able to find any recordings by the Kilties Band yet. There is a small amount of information. There's some pictures of records that people have from the Kilties Band, so I'm sure that there is, in fact, some recordings out there. I just don't know how to get my hands on them. But there are pictures and there are songbooks that are left over. There's pictures of the band marching, but what I could not find was pictures of the buttons of the Kilties Band from Belleville. And so I think that these buttons may be the only link to that portion of Canada's history. And I think it's neat. I know my friend Bob has a couple of them as well. And there may be some more of them floating around, although I haven't been able to find any reference to them. Maybe someone else can, but I haven't been able to. So I think it's neat. I wanted to contribute that to Canada's history. So this one's for you, Canada. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope everyone else enjoyed around the world. We'll see you tomorrow.